Hello everybody, this is Yunche. Welcome to my LR earrings guide. We're going to discuss about the different LR earrings and what they do. And before we talk about accessories and earrings and necklaces, really quickly we're going to talk about ability armor. You should invest in ability armor before spending a lot on jewelry. Good ability armor has a much higher drop rate and gives you more for what you spend until your armor is maxed at 140, and then you can start going into jewelry. You can max your armor out with the Lotto, or better, use the D-Burst item from D-Burst Lotto, and also the 2,400 gem packs that give the D-Burst, as well as 10 Lux Hunting Potatoes in the 2,400 gem packs. You should get at least one Destroyer of the Abyss for physical, or Young Painter armor for magic. Now, before we get into armors and necklaces and earrings, we're going to have to define a term, which is base stats. How to tell what your base stats is. Things that aren't your base stats, that are not, are runes, cores, passive stats. They don't add to your base. Your base stat is derived from your Akashic ability subgroups, your mount, your actual weapon and armor stats that are on the armor as a part of it. And almost all armor abilities, like that booster abilities, do not raise base stats, except the Cruel Officer Lotto. Cruel Officer does boost the base stats. Also, some SR accessories boost the base stats, but that's less relevant. There's many better accessories, so don't really worry about that. Now, to calculate your base stat, if you have a sharp necklace, that just tells you what your base stat is, because it gives you what your base stat is. The other way to calculate it is to remove your bond buffs by temporarily unequipping your bond. For example, if your bond gives you +5 attack percent, unequip it and check that 5%, and then multiply it in a proportion times 20 so that it equals the 100% of what your base stat is. It gets kind of complicated math, so if you need help with the calculation, ask your bond leader or algebra teacher or something. Another way is the dash earring, which shows what half of your base stats removed is. Besides the Destroyer of the Abyss and the Young Painter, I'll talk about a few other top tier armors that are worth investing in. Here's the stats for Destroyer of the Abyss and Young Painter. They give 200k DUL as well as some damage. The downside is that it reduces your defense and magic defense, but it gives so much damage upper limit that it's really worth getting some of this. And with the LR earrings and necklaces, you can spend like 10,000 and get nothing. But if you were to spend 10,000 gems on these, you could get like a fully maxed out set. The new Starlight armor is really good for magic class. Royal Knight gives a huge amount of base attack, plus 30%. And Brave Wizard is the magic version of that. Very good for Fafnir. Easter armor gives a lot of attack as well. Then there's also Mecha Tiger and 12 stars for physical attack or magic attack, which will give you about 80 to 90k damage upper limit, depending on what your stat is. You don't have to get all of one full set. There's no set bonuses in Alchemia, so you can mix and match. I just recommend getting at least one Destroyer of the Abyss or Young Painter. I want to talk about one other armor. The Snow Magic armor, it's really strong. It changes your element attack into DUL, as well as giving you element attack. So it's great, but it really works into one element. So if you're gonna use this awesome powerful armor, then you should probably invest into all 4 different element types of it. So it's expensive but ridiculously strong, and probably the best armor for Chaos Excalibur, which has access to all 4 elements of spirit weapon. You'd want to be using this snow magic armor with those spirit weapons. There's many good armors, even some that aren't listed here, like Cruel Officer, which raises your base stats, but we won't go into all of them. So let's start talking about the accessories. I'm going to talk about each of the LR accessories, and then I also have some data on the 4 stars that I'll post at the end. The Enemy Wind Earrings gives target a debuff that increases on wind damage they take. 20% chance to proc when you're attacking. 300 wind attack is nice, although the earrings that give the extra element damage give more at about 500. Collector's Spear, 40k extra damage, 40% attack is nice, 10% more than Royal Knight armor, and 600k to DUL, very excellent. A lot of DUL and the attack to help reach it. Advanced Earrings increases damage limit according to the number of the times the skill is used. The skills increase in damage upper limit in battle as you use them. Although I can't find the exact values that they go up, it's clearly a good item for damage upper limit in battles that are long enough to build up the damage upper limit. Damage factor also builds up to 100%, so it helps you reach that DUL. Dash Earring gives all your attacks an extra hit and reduces base attack and magic attack by 50%. One of the best items in the game, and can also be used to quickly calculate your base stat. For Attack Earring, it gives 200 of each element attack, so it's useful for Spirit Wars weapons and snow magic armor that do extra damage based on your element attack stat. Also a great item for total power rank. For Defense Earring, 200 to each element defense, a great item for any class on any boss that has dangerous elemental AoEs. An endgame rating quality item. The Strength Ear gives 1k flat attack and also boosts attack by 30% of the base attack stat. The magic version Wise Earrings does the same as Strength Earring, 1k flat magic attack boost and 30% of base magic attack. The Almighty Earring has 4 core slots, a red, yellow, green, and blue. Perhaps this is more suited for support and defensive jobs compared to offensive. There are many better options for DPS to wear. Exertion Earring reduces your base magic attack and attack by half and gives a 20% chance to multiply your base attack and magic attack times 5 and increase your damage taken by 1.5. A good earring for maxing out your damage upper limit, although it weakens you overall and makes you squish. The Rebirth Earring, tanking or soloing regen heal earring, gives a decent regen effect, so it's possibly a great item for solo basement challenges and dungeons. I really want this for my Divine Knight. Autofix Earrings. This earring is the most hated earring to get to drop. Only procs on hit with 20% chance and giving maintenance, which removes only specific debuffs. Maybe if it had 100% proc chance, people would hate it less and it would be usable. The Limit Earrings, 15% chance for 500k DUL, as well as a flat 50k DUL boost. 50k is pretty good compared to the 4-star Hero Earrings, which gives 25k. Although the proc is low at 15%, it's still a good DPS item. The Red Flame Earrings, a top tier item for a fire damage build, can give over 500 fire attack, and more importantly gives the extra damage that scales according to the fire attack stat. Extra damage is 20 times your element attack base stat, and the extra damage it does can be buffed in battle and with shamans and initiators, and stack with Spirit Wars enchant abilities extra damage. With shaman and initiator, this extra damage can reach over 10 million. These extra damage earrings are definitely top items for element builds. Green Storm Ear is the wind version of the extra damage giving element ears. Don't confuse these with the ones that give a debuff. These are the extra damage. Vivid Earring is kinda complicated in its function, so I will reference Rinsh's notes from Discord. 1. It increases your magic defense by a flat 200. Number 2. A 50% chance to get an increased magic defense each time an enemy hits with any type of attack, and this lasts for 60 seconds. The buff's duration can't be refreshed or stacked, but it can be triggered again once the duration of the buff ends. Number 3, a 50% chance to get damage taken down randomly, 1 to 3 stacks of it each time the enemy hits you. There's no duration for the buff, and it will immediately vanish when you take any damage, according to how many stacks you have. The buff can be stacked. The damage taken down can reduce any type of damage, even though it says reduces elemental magic skills. It's just a typo. We'll refer back again to this type of mechanics when we describe Regain Earring's possible function. Sorry it's a bit complicated. It's an okay earring for DK or soloing. I really like this earring for tanking Duroc Super. The Frost Earring is the water version of the extra damage earring. The Devotion Earring, which is like an LR version of the Dauntless Skill or Strike Earring. The same mode of damaging yourself for extra power. A very good item for Legend, and a recommended over Strike Earring, as it reduces your current HP instead of the Strike Earring doing your total HP. What this means is that it won't self-KO you like Strike Earring does. The Strike Earring does self-KO you, so this earring will replace Strike Earrings on Legends builds to much benefit. Regain Earring increases damage upper limit as your base HP is reduced, the same as Hero's Tier 2 average skill. Can boost over 1 million damage upper limit. It's very powerful, and if you have this for your Legend, you can even remove average skill and just use an extra attack instead with this earring. Another LR ear suited perfectly for Legend. The second ability of raising defense seems to be the same as the Vivid Walls special third ability, so it probably works in the same mode. Flowery Earring, extra damage element earring for Earth. Barrage Earring is similar to Dash Earring in that they both give an extra hit. Barrage, however, has a 35% chance to proc and gives you an extra hit buff that lasts for a good amount of time. I think it's 25 or 30 seconds. Unlike Dash Earring, it doesn't reduce base attack and magic attack by 50%, so it's an ideal replacement for Dash Ear on Fafnir Advanced or Super. Top tier DPS item, although for fights outside of Fafnir, Dash is usually preferred to Barrage for Dash's 100% uptime, since endgame DPS hit their damage upper limit even with the 50% reduction from Dash. Booster Earring has a 20% chance to give 1 million damage upper limit for 15 seconds. A powerful item, but if you are going to use in dangerous raids, make sure your defenses are much higher than usual, as it also doubles your damage taken. It's possible to use it in super raids, but you may need to add a lot of extra defenses. Quick earrings give -60 to cool time, which translates to exactly 6 seconds. For a skill that has 150 cooldown, that means instead of 15 seconds, it'll only take 9 seconds to cool down. A top tier item for support class that can overcome the huge downside of -50% base defense and magic defense. Also a great item for Yome situationally. Enmity Earrings. This item will boost 15% of your base magic attack. How the second ability works is 20% of the attacks will imply the increased magic damage taken debuff to target enemy. It's an okay item that has more value depending on how many magic DPS are in your party. The Blessed Earrings. This earring is a bit different from Rebirth Earring. Instead of giving a regen effect, it gives flat 10% heals. Also boosts your healing power by 500. So it's a top tier saint equipment. The Scar Earring, the physical version of the debuff earrings, gives you a 15% boost to base attack and has that 20% proc chance when you attack a target to give them physical damage increased debuff in the same mode as Enmity Earring. Super Earring, it turns on when you use a buff skill and lasts for 60 seconds. It gives you 10 million damage upper limit and huge amounts of damage. After the minute of superhuman strength wears off, you are debuffed for 3 minutes and take huge damage. So it's recommended to relog to cheese the debuff and re-enter the battle and be able to turn it back on again. The best item available currently in a tier 3 meta, as its 10 million damage upper limit is more like a tier 4 level boost, the undisputed top DPS equipment. The Dance Earring. If the Super Earrings is the top DPS item, then Dance Earring would be coming in second best. Gives 1 million damage upper limit and +2 hits, so your damage becomes amazing. Also reduces cool time by 5 seconds and gives 100% boost to attack and magic attack. Like Super Earring, it has the debuffed period afterwards. The Burnt Earth Earrings. Like Enmity and Scar Earring, this earring gives debuff to the enemy. This gives fire damage taken up to the enemy and also boosts you 300 fire attack. Stormwear Earrings increases your wind defense and increases wind defense in the same mode as Vivid Wall and Regain Earring. It's a pretty weird earring. Collector Staff Earring works the same as the Collector Spear Earring, gives up to 50k extra damage, 30 damage factor, and 450k DUL, depending on how many rods you have equipped. Rough Earrings is the debuff earring for Earth, gives the enemy the Earth damage taken up. Redemption Earring, another LR tool for Legends. The abilities scale as your HP goes down. Gives you 20% of your current HP and self damage. Does additional damage up to 1 million and increases healing by 2,000. And the last, Sacrifice Earrings, removes 100% of your base magic attack and base magic defense. So it's usable if you aren't taking a lot of magic damage. It gives 5,000 flat attack and 200% to base attack. A pretty big modifier for a big magic defense downsides. Also gives extra damage based on attack up to 500k, which is a decent cap. Not really useful if you're doing magic attacks or taking magic damage. Okay guys, before we say goodbye, I have some 4-star necklace data to post. Credit to Mouse Aluna for uploading to Discord. So I'm going to put that on the screen now. Okay everybody, thanks for watching. I hope this info helped you. And have a great New Year's. Bye.